Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Welcome to DSC's Campfires with Larry Weishuhn, a unique blend of hunting, fishing, wildlife conservation, and the outdoor lifestyle. DSC's Campfires is brought to you by DSC, Conservation, Education, and Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus, award-winning revolvers and pistols. Stealth Vision, high-tech, precision-driven equipment for today's modern hunter. Red 55 Winery, signature wines from Emmy Award-winning country artist Miranda Lambert, owned by Rick and Beverly Lambert. And the Choctaw Hunting Lodge, home of some of the finest hunting in North America. Now, here's Larry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another DSC's Campfire, and guess of all the places where we are, we're back at the Choctaw Hunting Lodge. I think probably one of the favorite places on earth is everybody that's sitting around the table, and we've got Mr. Jim Block to the left of me, and then right next to him we got Mr. Jesse Baird, who's been on our show a time or two in the past. You remember Jesse from Aviant. Got a character by the name of Dusty Vickrey. Dusty is the manager, among other things, of the Choctaw Hunting Lodge, and sitting next to him is my old dear friend, Mr. Jim Bequette, of many years, for going back to the time, even before shooting times, many, many years ago. I'm going to I think I'm going to start this off with letting you, Jesse, talk about what the purpose was of putting this band back together. And there's some people that we've already interviewed a little bit that are not here with us tonight, but what's going on here in the Choctaw?
So we had Brian Flaherty from TenPoint in this week, testing out the new 2026 bows, and I think there were 4 or 5 different models out here, and
right.
It was, it's impressive to see how far Crossbow technology has come. I mean, it is amazing. So with all the different technology, Aviant produces, the Gordon glass limbs that have been around since the 70s. So it's really crazy to see the evolution of it, from being able to decock your bow, range finding scopes. I mean, that range finding scope on a buffalo hunt today turned out to be the only thing you could have actually used
exactly
to get that shot done.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, you're right. The technology, and particularly in terms of the repeatability of accuracy on these things, is just absolutely phenomenal. I shot these bows here a little bit. I've got another one, and they're the old Robin Hood thing of putting the arrow on top of the arrow. The one thing I learned about their crossbows is I shoot one arrow, I retrieve it, because if I shot it the second time, I'd have no arrows.
Don't shoot at the same bullseye twice.
It's the same place all the time. So, we've been here in the past. You've been here numerous times, and I've been very blessed, as has Mr. McQuett over there is laughing a little bit, but we've been here, and of course he and Mr. Jim next to me, they go back to a time when they were, I think when the truth really came out, they were probably both in diapers at the time. But Jim said just about.
The evolution coming back to it.
I had that thought, but I wasn't going to say it because I knew it just would go downhill in a hurry, so I just kept my mouth shut. But
and why was that?
Well, I just know what he's going to be whining over here and be like, I don't know why you're so mean to me. So I just didn't say anything.
You messed with him a fair bit in the past. We messed with him a little bit while he was here as well too. So thank God he has a decent sense of humor, so that he's not out there with a baseball bat beating us when we're asleep at night. But
it's a two-way street with him. Like he wants to play the victim, but like he's the instigator at the same time. Like it's just so. It's not. He thinks it's all like me being mean to him, but like he starts it before he ever even gets to the plate. So
let me be perfectly clear here.
It's perfectly clear.
He's trying to incarcerate me. He's trying to get me in jail. You know, saying bad things about me in front of game wardens. You know, it's terrible.
Yeah. By the way, tell us about
terrible.
that turkey that.
Yeah, I don't even want to go
what we're referring to is we've been setting Jim up a lot. We had the game warden here today, and one of the Choctaw wardens, as I recall, and
then somebody
something about a turkey.
Put the wrong label on a deer mount. God, I mean, it's endless. This is what friends are for, right?
That was another deal. Jim shot a deer on an Aviant hunt last year, I suspect it was. He has sent it to the taxidermist. The taxidermist delivered to me at home, and I brought it up here to give to Jim. Well, we get up there and we talk about, I wonder if Jim remembers this deer even. So I talked to Dusty. I said, Dusty, do you have any old, ratty, nasty looking? He said, remember that one that we call your room?
I think Teddy Roosevelt shot that.
So we put all the paperwork on it, you know, and Jim comes in and looks at it, I'm sure, but he didn't say anything, you know, and then I'm really disappointed until that one morning I'm going, Jim goes back in where we got it hidden, you know, and Dusty, is he gonna notice it? You know, he comes out, he doesn't say anything, and so I said, Jim, I recall that deer that you shot was a 10-point. Isn't that an 8-point? And he goes, yeah. He said, that completely like taxidermy. He said, I've got to call him. He said, you know a good lawyer way to call. No, Jim. We don't need to go to that extent. Dusty's somewhere. By God, call him. Here's a phone.
Call him right now.
Call him right now. So then we started confessing a little bit, but. When I thank you so much for letting me be here, very open with you. I talked to Dusty. He said we need to get the band back together again, and so basically that's what we are. I want to go back to the crossbow thing. You've been hunting all week with this crossbow. This is not your first experience with a crossbow, is it?
No. So being from Ohio, that's we were one of the first crossbow states, and at my cabin I've got the Horton Hunter Express, the Nitro Hunter. I mean, all the same, and we've been hunting with crossbows our whole life, and it's amazing to see how far they've come. And the one thing that you're getting with TenPoint, and that is that you're getting American-made products, which is key. You're not getting mass-produced import products, and the people who are making these limbs that so the bow that I was shooting was pushing a 540 grain arrow over 510 feet per second. I think it's like 515. I mean, and repeatability where you can't shoot at the same bullseye.
And when you get right, that's a lot of energy going forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's devastating. I mean, we were using the 10-point broadheads that have, I think, over 3 1/4 inch cutting surface, and they're blowing through absolutely everything. So it's but what I want to say is that what's nice is when we don't have this with every company is that our team out in Montrose, Colorado, they live and breathe archery hunting, right? So they are, when they're not making the limbs for the industry, they're out there testing them, whether they're chasing elk, muleys, sitting in a stand, chasing whitetail.
Putting real use, not just shooting at a target or something like that.
Exactly, because they know that, how much time and effort hunters put into this, and when the moment of truth comes, you need a product that's going to perform at the highest level, and that's what they're proud to produce, and they do a phenomenal job at that.
Like I said, I'd had an opportunity, thanks to Mark Seidlinger, who does a lot of their marketing PR type of work, to have one of their crossbows and had an opportunity to shoot it. I've used it in the past, but the only thing I've used it for was just to take animals down after somebody shot them and that to be followed up, and it was easy for me to do it. And I thought, well, this is going to be a fun way to do this kind of thing. So this was the first time I really actually, from onset, ended up killing a critter, and thankfully to Dusty set us up in an area where there was some hogs and some other things, and their optics I did not have the digital scope that you have, but I had with the lit reticle, and had it not been for the lit reticle, all I'd have seen is I couldn't see anything. I mean, I could see the animal, and that was it. But where I wanted to put the shot would never happen. But with the red and green light that you can go to, depending on, what works best in those situations, that made all the difference in the world, whether or not I was able to take that hog that I did.
Yeah, that black dot on.
What are you looking at me like that for? Jim, I do shoot a crossbow now, by the way, too. It's not just, not just a rifle
I was walking to the buggy to get the buggy, and I realized I just witnessed a little piece of history right there. Like Mr. Whitetail turned into Mr. Crossbow there for just a minute. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that it's, but that was... I had to think about that for just a minute. I really didn't think that was something I would ever see.
Well, but then you took me on another hunt, and we ended up.
We were 2 for 2.
We actually are 2 for 2 with you and I are. No, we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm holding that to a special corner for just a second there. But we went to another spot where in the past you and I have hunted together, and you took an oryx with an air gun, among other things. But we're sitting there, and guess what? This fallow deer doe comes in, and she is 3-legged.
In a bad way.
In a really bad way. Apparently she's got caught in a fence or something like that, and literally it was one of those mercy things of trying to put her out. But the shot was not that far, thankfully. But I mean, you talk about the cutting edge and the energy going through this animal was phenomenal, and. She did not go very far, so we were able to put her down, and then
it was very easy to track.
There was a really good blood trail the entire way. So
you just follow it.
Now with that said, now you were mentioning something about the master guide sitting around the table.
Well, so this deal come together. Jesse.
We're going to get after you too. Don't worry.
Jesse and Mark. They got with me about putting this hunt together, for this deal this week. And then, Pard over here, he called about bringing Jim Block down here for a hog hunt,
Right.
And he was very specific. Like, whenever we were talking about it, because I told him, I said, Jim, just bring your gun. You can shoot pigs too. He was very specific. He said, this hunt is all about Jim Block. Like, I'm just going to sit with him and help him. I'm going to be the guide. I'm going to, this is about Jim Block, because Jim Block has never killed a pig, so Jim Bequette he was going to make sure that it was all about Jim Block. So the first night, I dropped him off, and I wasn't gone 30 minutes, I got a text, pig down. So, that, we were 100, right out of the gate, like we're good. And then last night, didn't do anything, didn't see anything, and then tonight, the same thing. So, I don't know. I mean, the master guide is might be slipping just a pinch. I don't know. And then he's texting from the blind complaining about his job, and I'm like, dude, you've been here 2 days. Like, I've been doing this since October 1, like every week. Like, you can't. And then he's telling me he quit and this and that. And I'm like,
I want to go back to that.
What I should have said was, you can't quit. You're fired. That's what I should have said. But I didn't.
You're kind, weren't you? Now, Mr. Jim Block, you've been here previously a couple times, and he may be the only guy I know that's actually shot 2 bison here on Choctaw Hunting Lodge, right?
With Sharp's rifle. With black powder. With
the black powder cartridge, it was supposed to be done.
Correct. I mean, I don't know that I'm the only one that's done that.
No, there's been, we had one other guy here that shot one with a Sharps, but you're the only one that's shooting a black powder.
Or shot 2.
And
Shot 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was great.
When did he talk you into coming here for hogs, or you had seen hogs in the past?
Well, this was another one that was similar to the buffalo, the first buffalo. I didn't know about it. Jim knows how to do this. He goes through my wife, and
he may be smarter than we think he is.
He sandbags. I'm telling you.
He sandbags?
Yeah, he is a sandbag. I mean, big time.
So he goes through your wife.
And he set it up. He knows when my birthday is.
Right.
So he contacts her well in advance of my birthday and says, have I got a deal for you? I think I got a perfect birthday present for Jim, me. And he convinces her that, this is a good deal. And I'm glad he did. It was great.
Pretty smart.
And
give him credit for that. I'm telling
and my
you.
wife's all about it. I don't know if she's all about just getting me out of the house, or if she thinks that much of me. I'm pretty sure I hope she thinks that much of me.
I think she probably does.
I know she does. But it turned out really great. She surprised me with that, just like the buffalo hunts. And Jim, knowing that I'd never shot a pig, and I had lived my hunting career through Jim, because he was always able to get out, fortunately through his work, and I'm
Exactly, yes, sir.
very glad for that,
Yes,
because it was interesting, and I could sit and listen to those stories and whatever forever with him. But now he's like, no, you're retired now, so you need to do some of this. And so he's pushing the envelope with me. And he's playing
More ways than one?
He's already got 2 more in the books that we talked about.
Oh, really?
Well, this whole deal is, we started, it kind of, the basic idea was getting Jim to go on hunts that he's never had the opportunity to go on. And so it started with a black bear hunt. Jim got a black bear out in Idaho, and then we went antelope hunting in Colorado with an outfitter, Larry, that you had recommended.
Exactly, yes.
And then we ended up, something Jim and I had always talked about was doing a bison hunt with our Sharps rifles. And so we did that with Dusty, and upon your recommendation.
And I was fortunate to be here.
And the hog hunt, and it was like, because Jim had never shot a pig, and it was like, so that's really what it's all about is first for Jim, and I've been lucky enough to be by his side as his master guide.
So let me get. I just listening in here.
Just listening in.
So 2 out of those 4 hunts that you just talked about was with me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I just make sure I was counting. That's all I need to know.
100% success rate.
Yeah.
50% of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know who saw the hog coming in.
I saw the hog coming in.
The master guide
You
did
sure
see
the
that.
master
I
guide.
guarantee you didn't
And I was
hear it.
doing the sign language thing with Jim, like 3, there were 3 hogs.
Yeah.
But then there were more hogs coming in.
And Jim got real excited.
Yeah, I think I was more excited than Jim, actually.
I got more of a kick out of watching him that first time. He's like, hey, no wait, there's no wait.
But I tell you, Larry, you know this. I mean, it's hunting, obviously you want to pull the trigger and get something on the ground, but it's all about getting together with friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Together with you and Jesse and
there's other guy over here.
But, no, this is a great place. And again, I thank you forever for recommending this place. I would have never found it, and when we were trying to find a place to go buffalo hunting. So that's all.
Well, I'm glad y'all, because it's given me the opportunity as well too.
What if you had never met me? Like
it would have left a void in my life.
That's what I'm saying. Like, looking back on it now, can you just think man, what would I have done?
I've been blessed.
I've
been blessed.
So
Getting the opportunity to meet you.
I feel the same way. It's one thing being with one legend. Now I've got 2 I'm friends with. 2 legends.
But I'm kind of, Larry, you've got a bedroom dedicated to you, and I keep thinking, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, you're going. If you talk to my wife about that, she's the one that kind of designates that area. My area is out that door right over there.
Yeah, you're in charge of the bar.
yeah. That's my area, the bar, and then outside, anything out from that bar outside that door, that's me. She designates the rooms, so you're going to have to talk to her about that.
But it's all about
But she likes you.
Getting together with old friends,
I know.
old and new friends.
She really likes you. Like, I feel like there is a legitimate chance that you could get your own room. I mean, I really think that's possible. So.
But see, I've known Jim and I have been friends for 55 years, literally. He was in my wedding. I was in his wedding. And I've known
and you're both still married, so obviously that worked out real well to the same ladies, by the way.
Yeah.
So not
and
several different women.
I've known you for 35 years probably, and
yes, sir, at least that.
Got to know Jesse through Poly One and Aviant, and
what's his name?
Yeah, Dusty. You know, I don't know. I just have trouble describing our friendship. It's.
I think I could describe it as being very special. I mean, it truly is. It's such a pleasure on my part to watch you two go after each other. And knowing that, but also knowing the admiration you have for each other. Because if it weren't for that, you'd be strangling each other. There'd only be one master guide around us sitting.
You need to have old Dusty talk about what. And again, I did it through like Jim going through his wife to set up these hunts about getting a very special rifle, and I did that through Nicole. Through his wife. And,
but you also called me to start with and said, what do you think if I call Nicole and do this? And I'm going, I think you really need to, Jim. I think it'd be a fantastic idea.
I was shocked, actually. Shocked. I've got a problem with like I need a support group probably, but I got a problem with buying Remington 700 BDLs.
It's kind of like
it's an addiction. Yeah.
It's an addiction.
Like I feel like I need to state my name and like I've got.
That's when I have a problem.
But I've been I don't know. I've just I've always wanted. I wanted every one they made my whole life, and I really just started doing this a few years back. I mean, I haven't been doing it all that long, really, but I don't know. So I started doing that, and I've got several of those things, and we've got a couple from my good friend Johnny Gibson. And there's some I bought some off a gun broker and different things, and my wife really gets irritated about the amount of money that I spend on these old bolt-action rifles with wood stocks on them, and which I try to kind of keep that between, keep it to myself on most of those deals, but sometimes it kind of leaks out or something. But it was it was about Thanksgiving, and we were talking about, we had hunters, and we were talking about maybe going back home or staying here, and because we had hunters coming in the following week, and we're sitting there talking, and she said, I think we'll just stay here, I said, that's fine. And so, like, a couple of days goes by, and she said, I got to go to Joplin. I said, Joplin? For what? She said, it has to do with your Christmas present. Don't ask any questions. Just, I've got to go to Joplin. And I'm thinking, what the hell's in Joplin that has anything to do with me? Like, Joplin? And she wouldn't tell me anything. Anyways, long story short, she ends up buying this rifle from Jim Bequette, which I don't even. I was shocked because she's like totally against most of the stuff I buy. But anyways, I got a letter. She gave me a letter right before Christmas. We didn't have the gun yet, but she gave me a letter that Jim had wrote, and it was. It's a very unique rifle from a very unique guy, and I really appreciate you doing that. It meant a lot. It means a lot to me. Like, it was a really cool deal. And if it makes you feel better, you cost me money, because as soon as I knew I was getting that, I called Weishuhn the next day and said, hey, I got to buy that rifle that you and I have been talking about that you got. And I said, I don't care what you want for it. I've got to buy it. And I said, there's more to the story. We'll talk about it later. Well, I didn't know he was in on the deal.
He started telling me the story, and I was just snickering the whole time.
But
and I think he finally figured out maybe Larry knew about this as well.
But I've got 4 of those things from 3 of my really good friends, and man, it means a lot to me. I'll just tell you that. So I appreciate you doing that.
Well, interestingly, this trip we're sitting in what I would call the great room here. I guess at the bar, the great room, and all that. But I'm looking on the wall a little bit to my right, and there's a huge sign there. Tell us a little bit about that one. I'll have to take a picture. We'll put it in the show notes, maybe.
So, only Jim Bequette, man. Only Jim Bequette would have something like this. So, he kept telling me, like he built, coming up on this hog hunt, like he would text every week, are you missing me? Like, have you checked on my deer head yet? Like this, and I'm like, yeah, Jim, I've got hunters here every day, but I'm like, yeah, Bequette, I still miss you, this and that. And he says, I'm bringing you something. I got something you're really gonna like, So I'm thinking, I don't know, like, maybe some kind of Remington deal. Like with the letter, there was a couple of Remington magazines. Like I didn't know. Maybe I had no idea. Well, what I didn't expect was a 12-foot Remington sign from 1987 in the back of the truck, all the way down here from Illinois. We've already got it hung up in the lodge. It is one-of-a-kind deal, basically just like Jim Bequette himself.
Well, you're right. There's one original, and
the only reason
cannot be duplicated.
So when he walks into this room and looks at that sign, he thinks about me.
I try to tell him, like, there's days I come in here and open my gun safe and just crack it enough that I can see that heavy barrel 223 in there. I just crack it, look at it, shut it back. Like it's one of my favorites. I got a couple in there, and it's one of them. So,
well, Larry, that guns are guns, but it's the memories behind the guns. A particular hunt you were on, who you were hunting with, what animal, what cartridge. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's my wife doesn't quite understand that, and it sounds like Dusty.
Oh, mine sure doesn't. I can tell you, I don't even know how you pull that deal off.
But it's like looking at mounts. It's not the mount. It's I was with.
It's recalling of.
Yeah.
That helps you recall
where you were hunting, what you were hunting. It's all about the memory. So that's the neat part of it. My doing that deal with Dusty is. It meant as much to me as it did to him. It really
now
did.
the truth comes out.
Did you hear that? Now the truth comes out.
It caught me flat-footed. I'm gonna tell you right now. I was so tired, man, when I got home. We've been doing hunts like nonstop, and it was right before Christmas. I was so tired, man. I got in the house late, and was eating some food that she picked up, and she's like, I can't keep this from you anymore. She's got a letter. I'm like, what? I started reading that letter, and I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. But it's a really cool deal, man.
It was. Cool. Nicole called me about a couple of days before she gave. She says, I can't do this. She says, I can't keep it secret anymore. I said, oh, come on. Yes, she can, at least a little while.
Then you had to do a letter for him, right?
Yeah, I did a letter for him with the one that mine was a Remington 8mm Magnum kind of thing that I've had for many years. That was given to me by a friend, and I don't think he had ever shot it. And I got it, and I shot a couple, I think like maybe 4 or 5 animals with it, and then put it back in the gun safe. And it was there forever until I started talking to Dusty about Remington 700s. I mean, I've had that thing probably, 25 years or whatever. Whenever they came out, it was very shortly after the 8mm Remington mag was introduced in that 700. So whatever number of years that was. But, but you're right. the rifles are very special in so many different ways. Or it could be a crossbow, or whatever.
Yeah.
But years ago, Jim called me and he said, "You got a rifle that you want to sell?" We talked a little bit about it, and then I've had it was a Marlin 4570 that I'd gotten through Tony Axelman, who was a dear friend of both Jim's and mine, and at Marlin, and that from hunts that we did together, and it's one of the most accurate rifles I've ever grabbed off the shelf. I'm telling you, regardless of what ammo you run through it, at 100 yards you can stack them in the same hole, and I would never get rid of this rifle.
Yeah. Except
for when I thought, God, the perfect rifle to get to Jim is that particular gun, because the time we spent with Tony, and Tony was responsible, and we actually hunted with him. So, to me, that was a big part of the deal kind of thing. So, but you're right. Now I've got a rifle that I wouldn't part with at all, and it's because of the guy that's sitting on the end of the table that people can't see on the deal here.
I've shot that rifle, and you don't need to. You need to hang on to that one.
No, it will. I mean, I was introduced to Jesse thankfully through Jim, and y'all put together a Thunder Valley Precision rifle barrel for me on a Mossberg of all things, and I've used that rifle in a 7mm PRC with horny ammo. I mean, we shot groups at 1,200 yards that most people wish they could shoot at 100.
I'm telling you,
and it's the accuracy, and of course there's so many other benefits to the rapid heat release and barrel system that you guys have. But to me, that's one of those rifles that's very special because of Jim and you, and then our being able to hunt together, and watching you and being around you when you shot some deer that I'm very jealous of. But again, that's all part of hunting, and to me, that's why getting together such as we were able to do here with this hunt, and when I talked to Dusty, we'll put the band back together. And that's really kind of what we've done. We'll talk a little bit in the future here before too very long. I know Jim, both of you Jims I want to visit with a little bit later on, but after this hunt's over with, and a few things that you guys have got going on, and with Dusty and I, we got a lot of things coming up together, including probably about the time this thing airs, we'll be at the DSC Oklahoma chapter event for there, and then back in the coming summertime, he'll be back with me and with Mr. Cole at the DSC Foundation Gala there as well too. But Jesse, being with Aviant, we've talked about here the limbs that are used in these particular crossbows, and the repeatability of them, and the accuracy of them, or the repeatability of the accuracy is maybe the better way to put it. I know you're involved in so many different, Aviant, involved in so many different ways in coming up with solutions.
Yep.
And that's what what you guys do, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So, we're an innovator of material science, right? So if there's a problem out there, our technology teams are out there to solve that problem.
Right.
And that's what, was the genesis of the composite heat release barrel, the carbon fiber barrel.
Yes, sir.
We took, what were the issues that were people having with carbon fiber barrels out there that were on the market, and sent it to our technology team, and they came up with a solution to fix that. And so it's all specially formulated, customizable solution that OEMs can put on their guns. So it doesn't have to be a certain barrel blank or what,
Right.
It's the OEM's, carbon fiber barrel solution now.
One of the things that impressed me a whole lot is I do a fair amount, as you have too, with stealth vision, but y'all put together a 7mm PRC gun for them to play with their scope, and you've been out there and pointing at Dusty in this instance. And Joe Cunningham and I took one of your barrels. We ran 17 shots through it as fast as we could at 500 yards. The group size even doing that was like less than 3 inches, which speaks very, very highly. Then the next 3 shots after firing 17 shots, when that barrel should have been so hot that it it should have been either high, low, whatever, or off the target when you got right down to it. And just as soon as we could shoot, take a deep breath, let it all out, and shoot a little bit for accuracy. I watched Joe shoot 3 times that way, and the 3 shots probably took less than 30 seconds to do. And he put 3 shots after 17 shots as fast as you could through that rifle barrel in the exact same hole at 500 yards.
Yes, exactly.
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, he and I talked about it. He said, I've shot tight groups. I've never shot a group that tight. And he said, it damn sure wasn't after I'd run 17 rounds through the barrel.
Yeah.
So, you know.
They don't get hot, man.
No. But, and then to me, it's always the first shot that's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But the accuracy that barrel system creates is just phenomenal. And then if you have to shoot a lot of times, it's going to put him in the same hole,
Exactly.
you know, at distances, again, near and far.
Exactly. So if you're sighting in a gun and you want to run, 3 or 4 different types of ammo through it, do, 4 different 5-round groups, you don't have to worry about letting the barrel cool down, before you can get an accurate judgment of that ammo. Same with the PRS shooters. You can put the weight where you want it, have a lighter barrel that's going to get rid of the heat faster.
Exactly. One of the things I noticed too, like with my rifle that we sent to Precision, our Thunder
Valley Precision.
Yeah, exactly. Is that when it came back, I always thought, well, you got to have a free floated barrel and all this kind of stuff. He had taken like a router and roughly just opened the channel because the new barrel was a little bit bigger, and so it's got pressure against all kinds of sides, and it doesn't make any difference. Yeah. It makes no difference at all with that barrel system because that barrel, the heat system, it doesn't get that hot ever.
And it's a 20-inch barrel.
And it's a 20-inch barrel, yeah.
And that gun shoots.
Oh my God! It's
all day long,
unbelievably accurate. And we've had several gun companies that you've graciously had worked with now, and we see the same thing in these other gun companies as well too.
So
they're the barrels.
And the key is you're getting that bull barrel performance with sport or barrel weight for hunters, right?
Oh yeah.
And you can, with the bull barrel you can get that type of performance, but again, it's going to get hot, it's going to hold the heat, etc. You're going to have barrel life, longevity issues, etc. But now you can have that in a hunting package, a sport weight that you don't care about taking out on the mountains, wherever you need to go, because it's 25% lighter than your regular steel barrel.
Exactly.
So it's you're getting the best of both worlds.
I'm sitting here thinking about that. I love wood stock, pretty wood stocks, and so very often we go, well, that stock's going to swell. With that particular barrel, it probably wouldn't make a bit of difference.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time I replace that. I used to call the synthetic stocks, plastic stocks, and the laminated stocks family fancy plywood. Maybe I can actually go back and put a really pretty piece of wood on this particular rifle and not have to be concerned about all the rest of it. Interesting stuff. Mr. Jim Block,
yes,
what's
sir.
next for you?
What's next? I'm not real sure. I'm talking with my buddy here, Mr. Bequette, about a potential mountain lion hunt.
That sounds good.
We kind of got that on the radar. Nothing set in stone just yet. I know my wife is all about it.
Where are you going to hunt?
I'm not sure yet. I'm leaving that up to Mr. Bequette because he is my man to go to for experience.
The master guide.
The master guide.
Which we'll have to talk about that, doesn't
it? Change the title a little bit to something else.
Actually, the outfitter we're thinking about, he's based in Utah, but I actually went on a mountain lion hunt, got a dandy, and it was always on my bucket list. And finally did it, hunting mountain lion with dogs, and I was using a Marlin 1894 and 44 Magnum, and it was a great hunt, one of the best hunts of my career. But after that, I recommended it to Mike Bradley, who was at Poly 1, which is before Poly 1 became Aviant.
Yes, sir.
And Mike ended up going out with me with this outfitter, along with Mike Pfeiffer, who was the president of Ruger, and they both killed. I was there as the master guide. And they both killed mountain lions.
See, got it in you. You get disappointed because, I mean.
But, well, I need 3-day weekends. You know, I need time off. I can't.
Yeah, so do I. Okay, I would like that too, but it doesn't work.
I was like that, right?
But I told Jim, I said, you know, we're not getting any younger, you know, and the mountain lion hunt can be demanding. You know, you got to chase a pack of dogs chasing a lion, and so we're going to try and do that. I think we're going to. It'd be cool. Again, another first hunt for Mr. Block, and
perfect.
So that'd be pretty good. And talking about, as we were, about guns, and Jim owns a few of my guns as well, so that's all part of the mix too. You know, that's it's all about the memories. You know,
it is the creation of memories. You're right. It really is.
It is. But anyhow, yeah, I hope this master guide thing turns out.
I really do too. I really hope it works out for you.
I mean, I don't want to put Dusty out of business.
No,
don't want to replace.
You're marked safe from that. You know what I mean? I really hope this deal works out for you. I really hope, you know.
You don't sound very concerned.
No, you're good. You got it.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're gonna knock it out of the park. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're good.
But again, it's all. I'll say it 100 times. It's all about getting together with friends and great guns. Like my old buddy Skeeter Skelton said, good friends, good guns, good whiskey. That's what it's all about, man.
And it's been that way here, and this week throwing the Crossbow into that mix as well too. as I told Brian and some of those guys earlier, Brian Flaherty, who was with TenPoint, you know, we did a short little interview, and I did an interview with him and Mark Seidlinger last night. I said, you know, it's been a long time coming, but I finally shot some animals now with a Crossbow, and they will not be the last, you know. And one of those I hope will be a big black bear here on the Choctaw come October.
We're gonna
do our best.
We're gonna do everything we can.
That's kind of my bucket list for the year.
We've got to make that happen.
We will.
And we were fortunate enough, you know, to get a couple of those things killed last year.
We did.
If we could pull that off last year, surely we can get one more. Maybe you ought to look at hiring a master guide and bringing him in.
You know what? We may be able to do that.
I mean, that may be exactly what we need. We may change our luck. We
may be able to do that.
In there. He can be the eyes and you'll have to be the ears. I promise you. Because he ain't hearing nothing. That bear will be crawling in the blind.
Hey, Jim, he said you can't hear very well.
Before he hears anything. And he'll still say, what?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, goodness. I hate to kind of bring this to a close because this has been way too much fun tonight. But Jesse's going to get to hunt in the morning one more time. The two Jims have to start heading back toward North Country. I've got to hit a little south because I've got some stuff going I got to do with the DSC office tomorrow as well, too. So I just want to say how much I truly appreciate everybody sitting around this table and how much I appreciate you as individuals and then friends and hope to spend a lot more time together in the future. And thank y'all so very much for joining us around our DC Campfire today. I want to remind everybody that we do have the Summer Gala coming up, the Summer Expo for DSC, and then the DSC Foundation Gala, and that will be July 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. A fabulous 4-day show at the Gaylord Texan in Grapevine, Texas. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us there and a lot of other people. But again, thank y'all so very much for joining us around the campfire today. And we'll see everybody right back here again next week.
DSC's Campfires with Larry Weishuhn has also been brought to you by The Crown Bar in LaGrange, Texas, the Texas Wildlife Association, Double Nickel Taxidermy, and Burnham Brothers Game Calls.